the US Army just put out this recruitment video that seemingly speaks to a very specific audience that they had previously alienated. Which is in stark contrast to their previous recruitment efforts, emphasizing having two moms, and whatever this is. But apparently the Army has been going in an entirely new direction recently, as their YouTube now looks very different from their channel 2 years ago. So now, after years of missing their recruitment goals with seemingly no solution, they are going in the direction of Victoria's Secret, where they're ditching diversity and inclusion in favor of what made them successful in the first place. Now, you may think military recruitment and sexy lingerie have nothing in common, but do they? As about a year ago, we covered this alleged psyop online, and now she nearly has 1 million followers on TikTok, where she transitioned from normal pretty girl posts with an occasional highlight of her military service to basically exclusively Army content, getting tens of millions of views, where she parades around in her full military kit while on deployment, with captions like, "Contact your local recruiter for a free outfit," sharing her fancy $10,000 designer clothing shopping sprees while in a tank, posting captions like, "Thank me for my cervix," amongst displaying other things on her YouTube channel. As for a while now, she has openly bragged about being more valuable than the $100 million ad spends the Army does. And on interviews, she openly discusses how this is not something she should be doing, but not something they're stopping.
But as far as our commander and our first sergeant and all them, I never brought it up to them, and I don't know if anybody has. But while we were overseas, I started talking to them about it, and they were just kind of they were like, "Don't tell us, don't tell us."
What kind of social media rules are there in general?
I don't even think you're supposed to post in your uniform, and definitely not while you're on orders. Yeah, you're not supposed to post on orders, but.
So as in the video we did a year ago, I don't necessarily think she's a state-sponsored psyop, but it's just not something they're going to turn their nose up at, especially when our armed forces numbers are dwindling. Recruitment has been on a downturn for years, and the general public's opinion of our military from both the liberal and conservative perspectives is horrendous. So sad to say, the military went the way of Bud Light, and no amount of pandering is going to restore their reputation. And now with World War III being all but confirmed at this point, people on social media are outraged at the idea of a military draft.
How are they gonna actually force us to get up and go to war? I have 6 of these. What makes you think I'm qualified to have within 600 feet of anybody, including myself?
And that's if they can catch me, because you think, this draft occurs, I'm headed for the hills, baby. I know a place. It has everything I could possibly need, except for electricity and cell service, which is going to be perfect because you won't be able to find me. Do I look like somebody who the authorities are going to be chasing after, hunting down because they need me? They need me?
Now that guy thinks his ability to hide in the forest and live off the grid makes him unappealing to draft. Little does he know that someone with that skill set is exactly who the military's looking for. Unless, of course, he's lying about that ability. But that first guy that thinks he's unfit for service, I just don't think they understand how desperate they are and how many mundane, awful jobs they have in the military. Not everybody's going to be frontline infantry, and wars are won through logistics. They'll need accountants, they'll need janitors, and they'll need people to peel potatoes. If the draft comes along, they're going, and if you had another country's flag bumper sticker or on your online profile, I think you should be the first to go. Now, I would sit here and ponder why these guys are oddly similar, as if Chinese-owned TikTok curated their social media feeds to make them think everything from a specific haircut to specific speech patterns and mannerisms were what to mold their personality after, but I'm not going to try to criticize anybody with a generic appearance for very specific reasons. Now, the funny thing that's been happening because of all of this is people pranking their friends that they've been drafted into the armed forces.
In this order, subject to violator, fine, and imprisonment. Bring this order with you when you report. If you are so oh, wait. Go to see who sent it. Go selective surgery. Damn, Kennedy, I don't even know. You get financial aid.
Now that's a very cruel thing to do for internet clicks, but it does highlight how people's perspective changes only when it directly impacts them. I can sit here all day online and preach how we need to fund this conflict and these people need to be able to defend that thing, but how many people would keep that same energy if it meant interrupting their life for 2 years to go overseas and live in the desert filling sandbags all day? But the only ironic thing is, all these people complaining about being drafted, that voted for Biden, that complained about him not paying for their college. Yeah, Biden did campaign on loan forgiveness, well aware that this would simply not be possible unless World War III starts and you all get free college with the GI Bill. It's a pretty cruel joke to play on them, but this entire administration has been a joke, except nobody is laughing except our enemies. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on what happens when news outlets try to peddle lies, but in a hostile country.